We're live tonight at McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and welcome into NESN's coverage of Red Sox minor league baseball. This evening, the Pawtucket Red Sox finish out a 5-game series against the visiting Syracuse Chiefs. Well, welcome into McCoy. My name is Josh Maurer, along with Will Fleming. We're the radio broadcast team normally for the Paw Sox. However, tonight, we're so happy to be with you here on NESN. We're going to have some fun as we simulcast here on the television side. And, Will, it's a big night at McCoy. The Paw Sox welcome in a couple of guys from Boston on Major League injury rehab, and it's a big story today that Brock Holt is in the lineup. He's going to bat leadoff for Pawtucket, especially what happened with the injury situation in the outfield to Chris Young.
Yeah, Chris Young hit a ball off the wall in Fenway, and rounding first base, he grabbed at that left hamstring. No official word yet, but that puts a little extra urgency behind what happens here tonight for Brock Holt. John Farrell wants him to play 7 innings tonight, work back to full health. He says that he feels ready to play. If he had to, he would, but he wants to get his vision back. It's something about focusing on the baseball. The concussion symptoms have taken a little bit longer than he would have liked, but he's in there tonight, leading off 1-2. How about Holt and Hannigan?
Yep, Brock Holt has 3 hits in the first 2 games of this rehab assignment. Meanwhile, you mentioned Hannigan. It was about 3 weeks ago that he went on the disabled list. He had a neck injury. He's going to begin the rehab back here tonight.
And again, they're going to progress with Hannigan to try to be able to play back-to-back 9-inning games. That will not be the case tonight. He got an epidural. He says that has really helped him out. This is a big and important step forward for the Red Sox. Ryan Hannigan has done such a tremendous job managing that pitching staff in Boston, and they'd like him to get back as quickly as possible.
Meanwhile, a young right-hander named Justin Haley gets the ball for the Paw Sox tonight. It's his first ever start at McCoy Stadium. This is the annual Armed Services Night. Lots of pomp and circumstance on the field as we get ready for baseball. We'll have the lineups and the first pitch from McCoy right after this.
Hey, Tom Kerr with you here. Xander Bogaerts sent everybody home at Fenway Park with a smile on their faces. They grinded out affair this afternoon. They went extra innings, but in the end, he delivers his second hit of the day and the second walk-off win of the year for the Red Sox. 8-7 the final. They avoid being swept in a 4-game series by the White Sox. Now they roll into Texas to face the Rangers, the team with the biggest lead of any first-place team in Major League Baseball. Best record in the AL. Our coverage begins Friday night at 7. Guys?
It's a gorgeous night here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, as we get ready for a rare rubber match of a 5-game series. You don't see it often. These teams have played already 4 over the week. Syracuse and Pawtucket have split them, and so tonight we'll decide a series along with Will Fleming. This is Josh Maurer. Again, this is a simulcast broadcast. You can generally hear us each and every night on the Pawtucket Red Sox radio network. Tonight, we're also so happy to be with you across New England here on NESN. You'll see Justin Haley make his first ever McCoy Stadium appearance, and moments from now, he will lead the team out onto the field. As we talked about in the outset, Will, both Brock Holt and Ryan Hannigan on Major League injury rehab tonight, and so for Holt and Hannigan, important steps as they try to rejoin the big club as soon as possible. Both of those guys could be used.
I think so, and even though Sandy Leon, since being called up from the Paw Sox, he had his contract selected. Sandy's gotten a lot of big hits for the Red Sox, but I don't know that he's got the guile and the experience to manage that pitching staff, so we know that John Farrell would love to have Hannigan back there. And as for Brock Holt, Josh, I think the injury to Chris Young raises the stakes even higher. He went up to look to be some support in the outfield, a utility role. I think with Young looking at a hamstring injury, ever more important that Holt fill that outfield role.
Well, here's the lineup for Syracuse. It will face Mr. Justin Haley tonight. Trey Turner is one of the top prospects in the Washington Nationals organization. He leads off, had a game-winning hit here last night. Steve Lombardozzi, Brian Goodwin, Matt Skoll followed Turner with Luis Pedro Severino, Matt Dendecker, Jason Martinson, followed by Caleb Ramsey, and a big league vet, Tony Campana, rounds out the starting 9. All of them to face this man, Justin Haley. 25-year-old right-hander out of Fresno State, and what an impressive debut he had at the AAA level. Those numbers came in a start at Louisville on Saturday, a start in which he retired the final 10 batters that he faced.
Meanwhile, behind Haley, Justin Maxwell slots into left field. Rusney Castillo is going to anchor the outfield. Henry Ramos in right. The new guy Ryan Court, who's been a spark plug for Pawtucket at the hot corner. Holt at short. Mike Miller is his double play mate. Chris Marrero at first, and Ali Solis will be the battery mate for Haley.
The home plate umpire is assigned by the International League. There's Ryan Clark. Crew chief Joe Bourne is over at third with Roberto Ortiz. The umpire at first. All wearing the black tops tonight on a gorgeous evening at McCoy. Couldn't ask for better weather here this evening on Armed Services Night. Temperatures as we get underway in the mid-70s. You can see humidity and wind not a factor. Well, here's Trey Turner set to lead things off against Haley, and the first pitch of the game misses up and away. Again, this is a simulcast. You'll hear us both on the television and the radio tonight. So glad you could spend a part of your Thursday evening with us. 2 balls and no strikes on Trey Turner. Now this guy, the Washington Nationals think is the shortstop of the future.
Hard to blame him for that, Josh. He is uber talented. About as fast as guys you'll see anywhere on a baseball field.
Haley pumps in a strike that caught the outside corner, and so it's 2-1 from Justin Haley, who began the year in Portland. Double-A for the Red Sox. He was putting together a banner season. 12 starts and a 2.20 Double-A earned run average. That one will get out of play off the bat of Turner, and the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Put in a lot of work as his delivery has improved. You'll see tonight that the one thing that really stands out to me anyway about Haley is the smoothness and the repeatability of his delivery. For a big guy, he keeps things compact. Release point is really consistent through the night, and that helps him throw so many strikes.
2-2. That's a play for the second baseman Miller on the second hop. Mike Miller takes care of Trey Turner, and that's how the game begins on a Thursday at McCoy Stadium. You can see the Paw Sox are wearing some camouflage uniforms tonight. Again, that is in honor of the evening Armed Forces Night, which is a tradition. We'll talk about it as our broadcast goes along. They wear them once a year, and they always look sharp. So now Steve Lombardozzi, big league veteran who originally broke in with the Washington Nationals. He's back in the organization, coming from the independent leagues. 1 ball and no strikes on Lombardozzi.
One of the things that stood out so starkly about Haley's AAA debut was the number of first pitch strikes he threw. In fact, he encountered a ton of 0-2 counts. It's a point of emphasis for him. He's missed to the first 2 hitters.
1-1 on Lombardozzi. Veteran comes in hitting just 182 since the Nationals signed him back. He's 10 for 55. Justin Haley's 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. As mentioned, these teams have already played 4 games against one another this week. So the scouting reports are pretty fresh on just about all these hitters. That's foul down the left field line. It remains 1-2.
Haley's a fastball, slider, changeup guy. The changeup has been a really approved pitch for him throughout this year. Talking to the Paw Sox pitching coach Bob Kipper, he said to him the difference between Justin Haley now and the one he saw in spring training, a willingness to pound the inner half to both righties and lefties with the fastball.
1-2 again, and that one a play for the first baseman Chris Marrero. He'll use the help of Haley covering the bag. Perfect flip and 2 ground outs to the right side of the diamonds. 2 away for Haley. And Brian Goodwin, a former first-round pick of the Nationals, coming up to the plate. Paw Sox coming in with 3 games above the 500 mark overall. They've played well in June. Overall winners of 14 out of 22 games to get back above the 500 mark. And right back in the middle of a playoff picture in the International League. We have just gone past the halfway point of the AAA season. There's a strike pumped right in there to Goodwin. Different from what you see in the major leagues in the IL. 144 games each year. 1 ball and 1 strike on Goodwin. So it was just a couple of nights ago. Paw Sox reached the halfway mark. Of course, in the big leagues, they're not quite there yet. Haley's 1-1 to Goodwin. back into the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. You take a look at what the North Division in the IL looks like. Everybody, as you'll see in a moment, is kind of bunched together. Here comes the 1-2. Off the hands and foul. That's a fastball from Haley, and it remains a ball and 2 strikes on Goodwin. A .294 hitter coming in.
Rochester's been the hot club, Josh. There's no surprise that they're at the top of the IL North. Sort of been a merry-go-round in the middle of the division all year long.
Goodwin tried to check, but he committed. Good off-speed pitch from Justin Haley, and an impressive start, retiring the Chiefs in order in the first. And so Pawtucket with Holt and Hannigan coming up bottom 1. Scoreless after a half an inning here at McCoy Stadium, and the Pawtucket Red Sox coming to bat with a couple of players on Major League injury rehab. So we take a look at the starting lineup for manager Kevin Bowles tonight. There's Brock Holt and Ryan Hannigan at the top of that lineup. Holt coming back from a concussion, Hannigan the neck injury. Chris Marrero has had a terrific season. He is Red Sox current infielder Devin Marrero's cousin. Justin Maxwell, a big league veteran, cleans up. Henry Ramos and Ryan Court just up from Portland. Rusney Castillo, he'll bat 7th. Mike Miller and Ali Solis round out the starting 9. This is Austin Voth, a very talented right-hander. One of the top pitching prospects the Nationals have. And Holt takes ball 1 leading off against Voth, a 23-year-old out of the University of Washington. You see the numbers, very good for his first foray into AAA. Second time he's faced Pawtucket. 2 balls and no strikes on Holt. Well, Brock has looked good, I think, especially considering he has not played in over a month. In 2 games of the rehab assignment, he is 3 for 6, including a pair of doubles. 2-0. And that one just up and away, so ball 3 from Voth. Generally good command for this right-hander who's only walked 18 in 75 innings and nearly 1 strikeout per inning pitched. 3-0 though to Brock Holt. A pitcher's pitch for a strike, 3-1. Holt did not play on Wednesday. Consecutive games played on Monday and Tuesday here at the beginning of the series. Says he's getting closer. 3-1. That one on the corner, it's a full count. Still not quite 100% coming back from the concussion symptoms that have kept him on the disabled list since the 19th of May. And now a payoff pitch. Flashed foul and will do it again. It's important for Holt to get back there for so many reasons up to Boston. But having seen what happened to Chris Young and his hamstring earlier today, I think that's even more paramount.
Yeah, it raises the stakes for Brock, who is such an important part of their ball club. I think it's sort of surprising that Brock has admitted that he was not 100% given the way he's looked at the plate. I mean, the way he swung the bat, doubling to right and left center field in his first game back with Pawtucket, you would have thought, man, he looks 100%. And so that's got to excite Red Sox fans. If this is not 100% Brock Holt, then man, when he gets right, he's going to look a lot like the All-Star, Mr. Holt.
Third 3-2 pitch of the at-bat coming up from Austin Voth. That one down the right field line, but it hooks foul. Well, again, I don't think you're seeing any signs of rust at all. He has put good swings on these pitches here leading off the bottom of the first.
He's talked a lot about the day after, and a lot of times it's his vision, the ability to focus, and then he'll have a good day and then a bad day. And what obviously the ultimate goal is to have no bad days, just 100% all the time. But these concussions, they're enigmatic.
3-2 again, and that time Voth got Holt to chase. A breaking ball that bounced up there. So that's how the evening begins for Brock, and for that man, 23-year-old Austin Voth.
Well, Voth has both the curveball and the slider. This time he snaps off a vicious curveball on the inside half to Holt that dives down into the dirt. Brock over the top of it. This kid has got 4 above average pitches.
Voth has a win this season already against Pawtucket. That came back in April. And now Ryan Hannigan bats for the first time in his rehab assignment. That'll get back out of play. On the shelf for about 2.5 weeks. The backup to Christian Vasquez, normally for John Farrell. The average with the Red Sox below the Mendoza line, but his value comes more with the glove than with the bat. He's the DH tonight for the Paw Sox, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. The neck injury that hit at the beginning of the month, something that had been nagging him for a bit, knocked him out now since the 5th of June. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
In addition to the epidural he received, Josh, he's worked on sort of improving his posture behind the plate. He thinks that if he sort of crouches a little bit more upright, it will not aggravate that disc as much. So this is the first time he's seen game action in a month, and really last week was the first time he was even able to swing a bat. He felt so much pain.
1 out here in the bottom of the first, and a 1-2. It's that curveball again from Austin Voth. Not tempting enough for Hannigan to swing at it. Voth was drafted in 2013 by the Nationals, a 5th-round pick. Yet to see big league time, but you figure that's coming shortly for a guy who was Washington's minor league pitcher of the year a season ago. The 2-2. Hannigan lays back on a high fastball, so the count runs full.
You know that John Farrell, though, has got to be thrilled with the stopgap work that Sandy Leon has done since he joined that club from Pawtucket. With Hannigan going down, Swihart suffering the injury, Sandy has, in a lot of ways, been a lifesaver.
Another 3-2 count. And Hannigan lifts that one into left center. Tony Campana and Brian Goodwin converge. It's the center fielder Goodwin gliding over into the gap. And so both Holt and Hannigan retired after long at-bats.
Well, that fly ball is an example of one enduring feature of this defense. A lot of range, particularly up the middle. Goodwin can go get it with the best of them. Trey Turner, look, the defense is a point of emphasis at shortstop, but he will make plays and get to balls you just don't see other guys make. Skoll can pick it over at first, and Severino, the catcher, he'll be fun to watch all night. The way he receives the baseball, there's some shades of Christian Vasquez there.
Now Chris Marrero takes the curveball for a strike from Voth. There has not been a base runner as yet. This man Marrero, you could make a very strong argument, has been Pawtucket's most valuable player this season. 1 ball and 1 strike. Team leader in home runs, runs batted in, and has been a staple in the middle of the order. Started every game for nearly 2 months. 1-1. Both misses away on Chris, whose cousin Devin played a role again in today's Red Sox game, a big extra inning victory over the White Sox. Those two grew up essentially across the street, neighbors in Miami. Chasing a high fastball, it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's actually, Will, you and I get to see Chris, and it's been interesting for him for the past week since Devin has been recalled to the big leagues without his running mate.
They have so much fun here together. I mean, they could not have drawn it up any better. They're basically best friends, and they're on the same team.
2-2. And another full count.
This is something that Marrero has done all year, Josh. He works counts. He will not get himself out. It's to find his pitch to hit, and more often than not, he does.
All 3 batters have worked the count full. 3-2. The curveball to strike out Marrero. Beautiful pitch from Voth, who retires the side in order after an inning at McCoy. We're scoreless. Hope you're enjoying it right here on NESN.
Well, we've seen him one time. The 8 innings that he pitched the other day against Louisville looked terrific. Attacked the zone with his fastball. It's a little bit of different look. It's a little deception there. Closed delivery. And he utilizes a mix. But good first outing from Portland, and hopefully he can repeat that this time.
Pretty good 1-2 in your lineup, Holt and Hannigan.
That's Kevin Bowles.
Well, we just won.
On his starting pitcher tonight, Justin Haley. We're back on our simulcast broadcast. Josh Maurer and Will Fleming tonight bringing you the audio from McCoy. Well, it was a good start for Haley, carrying over that momentum from his first AAA start. Quickly retired the side in order against Syracuse. Now the second inning begins with the cleanup batter, Matt Skoll, who takes ball one.
And I think those top 3 hitters for Syracuse are a real challenge. Their speed, they all can really handle the bat, so that was impressive, particularly coming from behind in a couple of those counts.
2 balls and no strikes on Matt Skoll. Syracuse's leader in home runs and runs batted in this year. Paw Sox have held him to just 2 out of 13 in this series. 2-0 pitch. It's a good fastball. He will get a lot of swing throughs, although it's not an overpowering pitch. That registered 89 miles an hour on the stadium radar gun. There is some deception to it.
I think he does a good job hiding the baseball. It's kind of tucked behind his right hip before he comes home.
That's away, and it's 3-1.
And the Red Sox have all these analytics at their fingertips. They are dialed into all kinds of data, and they're talking a lot these days about spin rates and what that means for deception on the fastball. And Haley's got a really good number there.
Inside to Skoll, and so the first base runner of the contest belongs to Syracuse. It's a leadoff walk from Justin Haley. Pedro Severino, the catcher, is coming up to the plate. My name is Josh Maurer. Will Fleming is the other voice you hear. Normally, we are broadcasting on radio all of the Pawtucket Red Sox games throughout the course of an International League season. Pedro Severino has a couple of 3-hit games here at McCoy Stadium this week. Impressive at the bat for a 22-year-old catcher. Haley starts him with strike 1.
He's got sort of an inside-out swing, too, Josh. I mean, he is not afraid to go the other way. In fact, it is the type of a situation with a guy that you know they respect in Haley. It's not out of the question that maybe Billy Gardner Jr. would try to play hit and run here.
That ball hit the bat. That's a foul ball. Came inside, but plucked right off the bat, then hit the catcher, Ali Solis. So 2 strikes on Pedro Severino.
So you want to be a catcher. No thanks. Carom right off the mask, too. And it appears that Ali Solis, who has that one-piece helmet, that hockey-style mask, he's okay, but that was pretty loud.
Solis has been the man taking the playing time that Sandy Leon had before he went up to Boston, and what a month for Leon with the Red Sox. Again helping today. Came in as a pinch hitter for Christian Vasquez. That come from behind win over the White Sox. Remains 0-2. That was a big, big victory today. Some games I think will in June take on more importance than others, and when you're looking at a 4-game sweep right in the face, be able to come back and get that victory on the hit by Bogaerts, that one might have a little extra import when you look back later on in the year.
That'll be a happier flight, that's for sure, especially going into Texas against a red-hot Rangers team.
Curveball on the ground towards short, softly hit. Holt gets his first chance. Brock will take the out at second, and that is all they'll get. Severino does run well for a catcher. Fielder's choice goes 6-4, and Brock Holt looks good on his first opportunity in the field.
Yeah, just deadened off the bat, and Mike Miller made the right choice to just put it in his back pocket. A little bit off the end of the bat. Good action from Haley. Holt is going to shift from shortstop to third base later in the game. They're going to get him as much exposure all over the diamond as possible.
Brock has only played 4 games at shortstop in the big leagues this year. We saw him in left first couple of games during his rehab assignment. You imagine that's where he's very often going to be slotted whenever he's able to rejoin the big club.
He's got a rehab goatee working these days.
Matt Den Decker. This guy came through the Mets organization. Den Decker spent some time the past couple of years up in Washington for the Nationals. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 on, 1 out. Scoreless game here in the second inning from McCoy. 1-0, and it's 2-0 as Haley misses up and away. The big story, other than the fact that the Red Sox did figure out a way to scratch and claw to get a victory today, that was the injury to Chris Young. Rounding first base early in that game after a ball off the green monster, and it did not look pretty the way that he grabbed at that hamstring.
Yeah, and he couldn't put any weight on that right leg. And there was some speculation after the fact that he heard a pop. That's what he told the media that was assembled in the clubhouse at Fenway. So it does not look like Young's going to be available for a little while. And in some ways, maybe a little bit of a Pyrrhic victory, but an all-important one heading on to the road.
2-1 on Den Decker. That's ripped into right field for a hit. Over to second goes Severino, and Matt Den Decker collects the first base hit of the contest for the Syracuse Chiefs. So they've got runners on at first and second with one out.
Well, Den Decker's a veteran hitter, and I think he shows it here. That's not a bad pitch. That's beneath the knees, but he stays back nicely on it. Just rips it into right field.
And a power hitter, Jason Martinson, will come to the plate. He's got an opportunity to deliver a lead for the Chiefs. Martinson batting just .213, but he's hit 5 home runs. 28 runs batted in, among the club leaders for Syracuse. So with Young going on the disabled list, it so appears, in Boston. It's fouled back, 0-1. Then the outfield situation becomes a little murky for Boston. Ryan Lamar, Red Sox fans have gotten to see play quite a bit in this homestand, more than I'm sure John Farrell ever thought he would after taking Rusney Castillo's spot during the weekend. Lamar is the one who replaced Chris Young today. A 40-man option here in Pawtucket is Bryce Brents. He is not in the lineup tonight for the Paw Sox. The 0-1 on the ground towards third, and past the dive of Ryan Courts. That one scoots in towards the corner. Severino in to score, and to third base goes Den Decker. Jason Martinson delivers an RBI double for the Chiefs, and Syracuse has a 1-0 lead.
And he just hooked that right inside the bag. I thought Court was going to have a chance to make that play, but just outside his outstretched reach. And a really good play, I thought, Josh, by Maxwell to go over into the corner as he did and dig it out. That's a breaking ball that gets a little bit too much of the plate. And as you see, just inside the bag. I thought once it got past Court that both the runners were going to score, particularly with Den Decker's speed. But Billy Gardner Jr., with only one out, decides to play it safe.
And now the lefty, Caleb Ramsey, takes ball one outside from Haley. Has given up some hard contact to the last two batters. Ramsey 2 for 9 this series. Did have his 2 hits in yesterday's win. Paw Sox will leave the infield back, so they would concede the second run of the inning on a ground ball. And there is a ground ball hit towards Holt at short. Brock Holt with the off-balance throw. Unable to dig it out was Chris Marrero. A run has scored, and another runner over to third. They'll give an RBI to Ramsey. It may very well be a base hit, and Syracuse has a 2-0 lead.
That's one of those that's sort of a coin flip. You could understand either way, Josh. I don't know that Holt necessarily had him at first base, and even if he did, that's not ordinary effort for my money. But Marrero did have a chance to pick it out.
They have scored that in error on Brock Holt. Oh, we talked about it just a few moments ago. That's not a position he's played very frequently in 2016. But it is a position that throughout the majority of his professional career, he was a staple in shortstop.
It's interesting, when he came up through the minor leagues, there were a lot of folks who thought he maybe couldn't stick there. He moved him over to second base, and we know what has happened since he's gotten to Boston. He's been a super utility guy, and he has been solid at shortstop.
So a runner at third and a runner at first. Still only one out. This is Tony Campana with a safety squeeze that's going to work. Haley fields, but the only play is at first to get Campana. There comes Martinson with the third run of the inning for the Chiefs, who take a 3-0 lead. Little small ball by Syracuse manager Billy Gardner Jr.
Trying to get that third run across, and you just can't execute this any better. You got a pretty good pitch to bunt. Dragged it down that first base line. So Syracuse has put 3 up, and now a tough test in Turner.
To second on the play went Ramsey. So Tony Campana gets the run batted in, and here is Trey Turner, as you said, 0 for 1. The curveball from Haley is in for a strike. Tough inning for Mr. Haley. It all began with a walk. There have been 2 hits and then the error on Holtz. Syracuse has plated 3. 1 ball and 1 strike on Turner.
At no point in his first AAA start did Haley allow more than 1 hit in an inning. So this kind of came out of nowhere. See if he can limit the damage.
Turner had some big league time for Washington late last season and a little bit this year. The ball is foul. Out of play, and the count even now at 1 ball goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's Danny Espinosa's job in the nation's capital at shortstop these days. Although a lot of the Nationals fans think it's just a matter of time before this 22-year-old takes it and runs with it.
Certainly got all the tools to be an effective big league player. Espinosa has hit for power of late. The average is not good. He has played an excellent defensive shortstop, but you'd certainly figure Turner has his place on that roster before long.
1-2 again. That misses high from Haley. The count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Haley last season pitched a full year in Double-A with Portland and struggled. He lost 16 games in 2015. And what a turnaround it's been. Breaking ball is up and in. It's a full count. The adjustments that he made from a year ago to what he did now in 2016, pretty remarkable to go from a guy with an ERA over 5 to then one of the best in the Eastern League at the time of his promotion. 2 out. At second is Ramsey. That ball into left field is hit well. Maxwell back towards the track, and this ball is gone. Trey Turner hits a 2-run home run to make it a 5-run second inning for the Syracuse Chiefs. The super prospect's 4th long ball of the year, and it's 5-0 Chiefs.
Well, I believe that's another 2-strike breaking ball that is pretty hittable for Turner there, and he does have that ability. I mean, it's a lightning quick bat, and you see that's right there, middle, and Turner did not miss it.
That was the 25th pitch thrown of the inning by Haley, and as Bob Kipper, the Paw Sox pitching coach, pays him a visit, it was another curveball that hung up. I think that's a theme in some of the loud contact that we've seen.
Well, and you can understand not trying to give in to Turner with a fastball. He can turn those around with the best of them. So it's not as much selection as it is execution. And I think we both thought that curveball in his first start in Louisville was one of the keys to his success. It was a brilliant pitch for him there.
Unfortunately, not thus far tonight. Here's Lombardozzi with the bases empty. 0-1 the count as Haley pumps in a strike.
And of course, the subplot, Josh, we talked about how this is game 5 of the series. That's because we played a doubleheader a couple days ago. So the bullpen is quite thin for Pawtucket right now. You really would like Haley to settle in and go some measure of length here in this ball game.
1-1. Lombardozzi grounded to first, back in the first. 8th batter of the inning, and that one a play for Brock Holt again. Much better throw this time from Holt. Lombardozzi retired, and so is the side, but the Chiefs played 5, including the home run from Turner. It's 5-0 here at McCoy. Well, tomorrow night at McCoy Stadium, the first 4,000 fans aged 14 and under entering McCoy will get this very cool Paw Sox mini bats. It's Paw Sox Hall of Fame mini bat, by the way, as the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders come to town. As you could see there, images of Wade Boggs, Jim Rice, and Ben Mondor, the inaugural 3 members into the Paw Sox Hall of Fame this summer. You can always get your tickets and more information by visiting pawsox.com. 5-0 Chiefs, a long top of the second inning, and now their pitcher, Austin Voth, is back on the hill.
Yeah, Josh, a really neat idea by our new general manager, Dan Ray, to launch that Pawtucket Red Sox Hall of Fame. And I think we've got a big committee that decides upon it. They'll probably never have an easier job than they did this year, deciding upon the first 3 inductees. The longtime owner, Ben Mondor, Jim Rice, who won a Triple Crown here, and, of course, the Hall of Famer, Wade Boggs.
Justin Maxwell, Henry Ramos, and Ryan Court to bat against Voth in this 5-0 game. This is a veteran, Justin Maxwell, a lot of big league time in his career. 1-1. The curveball is called a strike there. Borderline. 1-2 on Maxwell, who's batting at .225. He's homered 5 times for Pawtucket. And a great veteran presence in that clubhouse. Signed with the team right after spring training. The 1-2 by Voth. Justin able to check up on a pitch in the dirt.
Pretty good take, given the breaking ball that he spun to him 1-1. Another feature, Josh, this time of night, it's worth noting at McCoy Stadium that the sun sets in a sort of unusual place over the left field foul pole. So that left eye for a right-handed hitter, particularly batting from the left side, it could be a challenge.
2-2. That's into right field. A play for Caleb Ramsey back in front of the track to make the catch. Austin Voth has retired the first 4 batters that he's faced. And now Henry Ramos comes to the plate for the Paw Sox. Scranton Wilkes-Barre is the team, as I mentioned, coming to town tomorrow. Not only is that a mini bat giveaway night, but as we'll talk about later, it's also a fireworks game. And I love the 90s night at McCoy. Yeah. Pitch is a breaking ball. 0-1. And we all love the 90s in this booth.
We do.
Yeah.
And a guy who started Georgia Tech in the 90s, Mark Teixeira, is on that roster right now for Scranton. He is rehabbing with them, so a chance to come see Tex.
Henry Ramos hit his first Pawtucket home run last night. Boy, that's an impressive, sharp curveball that Voth delivers to make it 0-2.
90s were the last time I even fancied myself cool.
And I doubt it even then. Here comes the 0-2. Voth paints the outside corner with a fastball and gets strike 3 called. That's the 3rd strikeout in 5 batters faced for Mr. Voth, V-O-T-H.
He's got it all working right now. Ramos was not with the Paw Sox when Voth dominated them last time. That's a good sinking pitch on the outside corner. I mean, he's got it all going right now. He looks very good.
May have been a hair off the outside corner, but as you so often see, if you hit the catcher's mitt, very often you'll get the call. Ryan Court, it's a great story. This young man takes a strike. Batting average of, .462. This is 5th ever AAA game. 6 for 13. That's to 3rd on a hop. Jason Martinson has it for the Chiefs. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Mr. Voth. Syracuse's starter has a shutdown frame. We've completed 2 on a gorgeous night. 5-0, the visitors. Syracuse with a 5-run lead at McCoy Stadium. We're continuing on our Paw Sox Radio Network and NESN simulcast this evening. I'm Josh Maurer, and now for the play-by-play as we move into the 3rd, here is my broadcast partner, Will Fleming.
Thank you so much, Josh. Uphill battle. Justin Haley back to the mound. We'll see Brian Goodwin, left-handed hitter. As the sun sets at McCoy, see if Haley can bounce back a little bit. First pitch to Goodwin. Beauty. Fastball for a strike. Well, this is the
anniversary of the conclusion of the longest ever game played in the history of professional baseball. That one's a changeup that missed. June 23rd, 1981. They played the final 33rd inning here at McCoy. 2-1 after a fastball misses to Goodwin. And major anticipation after the 32 innings played till well after 4 a.m. on that April day. Goodwin drives one deep to right. It is foul. Home run distance, but it hooks outside the pole. You got a great display behind the suite area. Here's the plate that Marty Barrett touched after Dave Koza drove him in. And Josh, a night for the ages here at McCoy.
Although it was this day, the 23rd of June that year, 1981, that wasn't really a day for the ages. It took him just one inning. After all of that build-up, national media came to McCoy. You know, the major league players had gone on strike.
2-2 to Goodwin is a pop-up. Court, with his feet straddling the chalk, makes the play. Yeah, the big leagues were on strike, so literally every media outlet that had any interest in baseball was here. So much build-up, so many stories written. One inning, let's go home.
18 minutes before Dave Koza crossed the plate in the bottom of the 33rd, and so much written about it ever since.
We will hear from Rich Gedman, who played in the first 8 innings of that game, a little bit later in the broadcast. Matt Scholes stands in. Fastball for a strike from Haley.
Koza, Dave Koza, the winning hit. Marty Barrett across the plate.
So many great stories from that night. 1-1. I think my favorite involves the relief pitcher Louis Aponte, who pitched in extra innings, pitched very well for 4 innings, and as the game wound on, Paw Sox sent him home knowing they'd have a game the next day and they'd need him to be rested. Check swing. No swing, 2-1. So he goes home. It's 2 in the morning. Game at that point is in the early 20s. And his wife won't let him in the house. She has locked the door. He's banging on the door. She just won't let him in. 2-2 to Skull. She does not believe that he was still at the ballpark playing a game. So Louis Aponte drives back to McCoy, sleeps on the clubhouse couch. Wasn't until the next day when his wife read the newspapers that she believed Louis. 2-2 to Skull. Off the plate, full count.
That was Easter Sunday morning. About 4 a.m. when finally things were called for the night. A lot of bleary-eyed ball players and the very hardy few fans that stuck around trudged their way back into the New England night.
27 in the stands. Swing and a miss by Skull. And nice start to the third here for Haley. 2 down.
Second strikeout for Justin, this time just a fastball. Matt Skull unable to catch up. The pitch that was up above the belt.
It's a pretty impressive job settling in for the kid. And as we said, ultra important for him to try to get back into this game. Pitch into the later innings. It would take something dramatic to play 33 tonight as Severino takes a breaking ball outside for ball 1. Severino takes 2-0.
I think you and I would each agree the way that minor league baseball is played and more particularly managed these days, it would not be possible for that to happen again.
Agreed. This ball is driven into center field, but right at Castillo. Rusney there, and that is that. 3 up, 3 down. Nice bounce back for Haley after 2.5 at McCoy. Syracuse 5, Pawtucket nothing.
A lot of good moments and a lot of great baseball played. Just not a whole lot of people got a chance to really appreciate it in the long run, but the game itself was really special and certainly never will be seen again in these ages. So, and then to have the anniversary of the day and being here, it's really kind of unique. And I was fortunate enough not to be here, but I couldn't have played in the final inning anyways. And the nicest part of all is any game you play, regardless of how long you want to win. And the Pawtucket Red Sox found a way to win that, the 33rd inning. So.
Rich could not be there because by that time he'd been called up to the big leagues in that 1981 season. He's done a fabulous job as the hitting coach, mentoring so many of these young players. Josh, he was pinch hit for in the 9th inning of that longest game, so he watched 23 innings before it was won on the 23rd of June.
You talk to Rich and you say, what do you remember about that night? He says, it was really cold.
They had guys down in the visiting bullpen pulling wood off fences, making fires in barrels as Castillo waves over the top of a breaking ball for strike one. Steve Luver, who's been a journeyman big leaguer and then longtime pitching coach, long time for the Kansas City Royals. He was out there getting kindling from around McCoy. 1-1 to Rusney. That game had 2 Hall of Famers, Josh, Wade Boggs and Cal Ripken.
Boggs was playing for the Paw Sox. Cal Ripken for Rochester, the opponent that night. And one of the other things that I've asked Rich Gedman about, I said, what'd you do for those final 20-some-odd innings after he got pinch hit for? He said, how many catchers do you think we had back then? So he had to, after being pinch hit for, he had to go into the bullpen, and then he was the bullpen catcher for, I don't know, the next 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, and it was windswept. Well, it's obviously been a tough week for this man, Rusney Castillo, taken off the roster. Looks at a pitch outside 2-2. He has not yet found his footing in this most recent return to Pawtucket. Dave Dombrowski was pretty plain about it. He said the bat just has not been there consistently enough. Still owed a lot of money. Fouls one high and out of play. So he will be given opportunities, Josh, if the bat becomes steadier. He has shown at times the ability to be an impact type player, but it's just not a spot for him right now on the roster. Votes 2-2 is a soft chopper. Martinson in time, just barely retiring Castillo. Pretty slickly done over there at the hot corner.
Jason Martinson is a shortstop by trade coming up. He's got a very good arm. Rusney, for whatever struggles he's had with the bat, he does have good speed. Even when you saw him up in Boston for a couple of weeks, quite frequently used in a pinch running role by John Farrell. He very nearly beat that one out, but Voth has now retired 7 straight.
Over the last week, that has been something that has stood out. He's a ton of ground balls. Mike Miller is backed away with a first pitch fastball. 5-0 Syracuse. Miller is one of so many Pawtucket players who have come up from Portland and really contributed to this roster. He's driven in 10. He drives this pitch into center field for a base hit. And that's been a common theme, Josh, of late for Mike Miller.
Plug him in pretty much anywhere in the order or anywhere on the diamond defensively. Great guy to have on a team because of that versatility. Got a fastball belt high. Turned it right around to the first base runner of the contest now for the Paw Sox.
It's been one line drive after another. Here's Ali Solis. Has been a brilliant defensive catcher for Pawtucket. The bat yet to come around. Curveball, and he was badly fooled there. Started at his helmet and ended in the strike zone.
Well, you can see why Voth over the course of his minor league career has recorded so many strikeouts. That pitch is pretty filthy. It's a 12-6 curveball. You can see, as you talked about, Solis just really gave up on it, ended up catching the strike zone.
Miller goes. It's a little blooper to shallow center field, and that falls for a base hit. That's one way to execute the hit and run, and Pawtucket has them at the corners. Off the bat, you thought Miller might get doubled off, but it just had enough to fall in center field.
A little bit of extra muscle here from Ali Solis. Just got enough of that curveball as both threw the same pitch. Muscled it past the infield and in front of Brian Goodwin. First real scoring threat of the night for Pawtucket. Now they've got the top of the order, and here come the big leaguers, Holt and Hannigan.
That's either really lucky or a brilliant read off the bat by Mike Miller. He's at third. Paw Sox have him at the corners. Here's Holt. Struck out his first time. Takes a breaking ball in the dirt. Brock Holt will play shortstop and third tonight. Back out in left field later in the week. And he said, you just can't shake this thing. It's sort of a mystery when the lightheadedness, the dizziness will strike him. He has certainly not looked dizzy at all in this spot in the batter's box. Takes a strike, 1-1.
Got one flap.
I think, Josh, it comes as no surprise to us that here at this level, even at say 90%, he's going to hit here.
Well, there's no question about it. He's played a lot of games here specifically.
Foul outside of first.
Brock, after the trade that the Red Sox made to acquire him from the Pirates, spent a good amount of time in Pawtucket before he finally stuck a couple of years ago, becoming an American League All-Star. But you know, we had glimpses of how effective this bat could be well before the rest of Red Sox Nation really ever saw it.
Developed himself into a key asset. Here's another foul, and if you bear with us on the TV side on the Pawtucket Red Sox radio network, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. Welcome back to McCoy Stadium on NESN and on the Pawtucket Red Sox radio network. 1-2 to Brock Holt. He takes a fastball for strike 3. Ring him up. Holt is gone for the second time on strikes. Big pitch for Austin Voth. Holt does not like that call.
Well, that's the second strike 3 and a fastball Voth has gotten tonight. The Paw Sox hitter thought was out of the strike zone. I think that might have been a tad low. That's what Brock's argument is, with Ryan Clark to no avail.
It's interesting, maybe assuming that at this level, the AAA level, the strike zone is a little bit bigger, as Hannigan takes a breaking ball in the dirt for ball 1. That's a big pitch for Vogt. I mean, runners at the corners facing a big leaguer in Holt.
I think you do tend to get more strikes called here in the minor leagues than you would on pitches like that up at the next level.
And it's not like the umpire Clark is going to adjust the zone for a rehabbing big leaguer. Here's a check swing. Hannigan could not hold. 1-1. Ryan Hannigan making his way back from that bulging disc. Wide to center his first time. And someone's been ejected. The home plate umpire Ryan Clark. I think it's maybe Brock Holt, who perhaps was barking at him from the dugout. We cannot see the dugouts from our broadcast position, but somebody from the Pawtucket dugout was letting Clark have it, and he just tossed him. And if that's Holt, that is a short leash and a big development, and just based on the look on Brock's face, I think it was.
Well, Kevin Bowles, the manager, comes in from third base to take up the arguments. You could see the pitch before Ryan Clark, the home plate umpire, turned towards the Pawtucket dugout and tell the guys, whoever it was, to cut it out.
I can guarantee you, here's what Kevin Bowles is saying as we see the ejection. You got to be kidding me. This guy's here on a major league rehab trying to get his work in, and you've just ejected him?
Now, Kevin Bowles has just been run as well as he continues the argument. The crew chief, Joe Bourne, has come in from third to help out Ryan Clark. You had another look at the strike 3 that bothered Brock Holt. And now we've had the Paw Sox lose their manager.
I think you can totally relate with what Kevin Bowles is saying. This It's just a spot where you'd hope the home plate umpire has a little bit better feel than that. It's a guy talking to you from the dugout, and maybe he said a magic word, but either way, he's here trying to get work in, and he gets run from the game. That's a case of a home plate umpire trying to make himself the story. And Brock will head for the clubhouse.
Yep. For those of you watching, there's your verification as to who it was who was ejected. Now, again, I did see a pitch before the ejection happened. Clark, the umpire, did turn towards that third base dugout and tell the dugout to knock it off. So there was a warning given before 30 seconds later the heave-ho.
Still extreme. Here's the 1-1 to Hannigan, and that is ripped into the corner, and that is going to get the Paw Sox on the board. Miller scores over to third as Solis. He will be held. It's an RBI double for Ryan Hannigan, and the Paw Sox get on the board. It is 5-1.
How about that for getting back to work after a double ejection? Very next pitch is a hanging curveball from Austin Voth. And very good timing to wait back on that pitch from Ryan Hannigan. That's a guy who has not batted in a game for about 2.5 weeks.
And now a chance to get right back in this game as Chris Marrero stands in. 2 down, a run in. Fastball that missed. 1-0. You wonder if the extracurricular bothered the pitcher Voth a little bit. He was out on the mound through all that discussion, and he then hung one to Hannigan. So a short fuse from the home plate umpire. Runs the big leaguer. That one is a strike on the inside corner. 1-1.
It does so many things. It impacts this game, but it really impacts Brock Holt's rehab timing schedule. Supposed to play 7 innings tonight. They were hoping to then this weekend get him back to a full 9.
Swinging a high fly into right field. Ramsey, though, front of the track, puts it away, and the inning is over. Paw Sox do get a run. They leave 2. Brock Holt gets run from the game after 3. Syracuse leads it 5-1. Welcome back to McCoy. The Paw Sox are pleased to present Wade Boggs bobblehead doll night at McCoy Stadium this Saturday when the Paw Sox take on Scranton Wilkes-Barre at 6:05. First 3,000 fans will receive this popular collector's edition bobblehead of Boggs. He's the winner of the first ever Paw Sox fan vote bobblehead this offseason. Visit pawsox.com for details and to get your tickets now.
That's a good looking bobblehead there.
They got it right. Just how he holds that bat. He's ready to spray one the other way.
Get here early on Saturday to make sure you get one of those bobbleheads.
And the new shortstop for Pawtucket in the place of the ejected Brock Holt is Jose Benicio. Matt Decker leads off. He takes a strike on the outside corner from Justin Haley, who retired Syracuse in order in the 3rd. You can imagine that both Brock and Kevin Bowles still hot under the collar after the ejection. Fastball misses high and away to Decker. It's just not something you think that the home plate umpire is in any kind of a position to do. One fouled back. And you could sense that the Paw Sox manager Kevin Bowles was going to say a few words with the home plate umpire, and you can completely understand his mood at the moment. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Struck him out, and Haley is sent down 5 in a row. That is his 4th strikeout. And I think Josh, really nice job getting himself back into this game.
And that fastball has been such an effective strikeout pitch for him. And time to Decker just reached back and threw it right by him. Old number 1 there. We talked about it earlier. While it's not overpowering, enough deception that he gets quite a few swing throughs.
Here's Martinson. And he takes a strike. And this is the Justin Haley we saw his first time with Pawtucket, just pounding the zone and working ahead of hitters. Martinson doubled home a run his first time. Swung on and miss. Breaking ball 0-2. Been a big year for Wade Boggs. Number retired at Fenway, so add the Pawtucket bobblehead to the list.
He's going to go into the Paw Sox Hall of Fame. That inaugural class here in 2016.
2-strike pitch. Way outside. Ball and 2 strikes to Jason Martinson.
I know there are a lot of folks who are bobblehead collectors. Right, so this is going to be one that you definitely need to add to your list.
As you said, if you want one, get here early. It's this Saturday, Scranton in town. 1-2 pitch, hot. Fastball, 2-2. Haley is one of a growing number of former Portland Sea Dogs who are currently on the Pawtucket roster. 9 at the moment, began the year in Portland. And almost to a man, they have really given this club a lift. 2-2 fouled off into the seats. The Paw Sox have sent so many up to Boston, 14 players to the big league club. Look, roster turnover is always a part of the narrative at this level. I think on the 23rd day of June, to say that 25 different names have come onto the roster since opening day. And back and forth for Kevin Bowles. 2-2 to Martinson. Dirt.
Kevin Bowles has done a great job. The rest of his staff. It's not easy at this level. You have guys who are big league veterans who are trying to get back to that level. You have guys like Haley who are coming up on the precipice of reaching their first big league action.
Pitch fouled back.
You have to kind of mold all that together. Not only do you want to win games, but you have to teach. You have to keep everybody fresh. I think so often here in AAA, it's the team that has the best camaraderie, that keeps the spirits highest, that actually has some of the most success. And the Paw Sox have had a great month with so many new faces that have come in and assimilated very well.
That is such a huge part of the job of a AAA manager. Kevin Bowles does a very nice job of that, keeping things light. Foul back.
And we don't just say that because he's probably listening to us at the clubhouse right now.
It's also the case that he has to do so many things, Josh, at the behest of the big league club. I mean, so much of this job is thinking about what the major league club might need. Certain bullpen guys might not be available on one day or another. So if you're listening, Bowles, good job on all that. 3-2, swing and a miss. Beautiful breaking ball. He struck him out. Uncle Charlie, that's back-to-back punch-outs.
Yep. Jason Martinson, who'd gotten him for the RBI double. That opened the scoring back in that 5-run second. Nice adjustment by Justin Haley that time on Martinson. A couple of punch-outs here in the 4th.
70th pitch. 2 down to 4th. Ramsey takes outside, ball 1.
So much of the fun at this level, even for the coaches, is watching the guys go up to the big league level and succeeding and helping the big league club get wins. And so for a day like today, for the folks here in Pawtucket this afternoon to watch the Red Sox get a win with guys like Marrero and Lamar and Leone, Hembry, all making big contributions for John Farrell's team, that makes it a great day already.
One is fouled off. So that is definitely the case, Josh, in that guys who were here this year have contributed very recently for Boston. If you even take an even broader view of things, you look at the Red Sox starting lineup night in, night out, the number of guys, as the 1-2's fouled off, who have spent significant time here and become fan favorites at McCoy. It's a pretty remarkable relationship. But that's the deal. Have as many pieces ready when the inevitable happens. I think Chris Young's injury today, yet another example of that. 2 bounces in. I think if Young is indeed headed for the disabled list, you can be virtually certain that another piece will be drawn from this Pawtucket roster. Boston just can't keep a left fielder healthy.
No, it's been one after the next.
Swing and a miss. Haley strikes out the side. 6 punch outs. The Paw Sox right back to bat. After 3.5, Syracuse leading at McCoy 5-1. Syracuse leading Pawtucket 5-1. We welcome you back on a beautiful night to McCoy Stadium. The Sox got their run in the 3rd, back at it in the 4th. Along with Josh Maurer, I'm Will Fleming, Pawtucket Red Sox radio crew, and we, Josh, are hoping before too long to see these 3 who've just recently gone 1 rung higher on the ladder.
Oh, we talked about some of the guys who have come from Portland to Pawtucket. These are some of their replacements, and they are some of the prized prospects, not only in the Red Sox organization, but you're talking about really throughout minor league baseball. Benintendi, the 1st-round pick of 2015, and Yoan Moncada, those are the headliners.
Justin Maxwell takes a pitch outside to begin things in the bottom of the 4th.
Moncada just got the promotion at the beginning of this week. He's now played in a couple of games for the Sea Dogs. A super talented switch hitter out of Cuba.
3-hit night last night. Maxwell loops one into right field. That's a base hit. As he cuts it off, and the Paw Sox are in business in the 4th. So Moncada, Benintendi, Josh, has 2 hits in 7 of his last 10 games. I think over the last couple of years, when you and I both talk to scouts, you'll say, who's the best player in the minor leagues you've seen? Not just Red Sox players, anywhere. And over again, they'll say those 2 names, Benintendi and Moncada, and now they're on the same team.
Part of our job that's so fun is we get to talk to scouts, and there are arguments. Who would you have? You could pick one, Benintendi, Moncada, and we heard a lot. There is no decisive answer to that. They are really 1 and 1A. Now, similar skill sets. They can both steal. They can both hit for power, but Benintendi an outfielder, Moncada an infielder. Yoan, of course, coming from Cuba. Andrew Benintendi was a college guy.
1-0 to Henry Ramos. Batting from the left side, swings over the top of a breaking ball. Fortunately for Dave Dombrowski, he does not have to choose between those 2.
No, he does not. Benintendi's bat really has heated up after, for about a 3 or 4 week stretch, struggled a bit in the transition up to that AA level. He's been on fire the last couple of weeks here in June. It'll be interesting to see how quickly the Red Sox brass want to push.
Historically, Benintendi has been on a more accelerated calendar. Ramos started to show some power from the left side. And I actually think the kid Dubon is totally underrated and sometimes goes unnoticed. He just got the call today to AA. Mauricio Dubon. Saw him play some games on the big league side in spring training. Great speed. He has hit for average this year, and the one thing he has definitively proven is that he can play shortstop. He'll stick there. The 1-1 pitch to Ramos misses outside. 2-1.
Dubon just played in the Carolina League All-Star game. It's for High A, a level below Portland. Played in that All-Star game and then went right up today.
Just an embarrassment of riches. There goes Maxwell. Hit and run. Ramos bounces one to first. Skoll will beat him to the bag for the first out, but Maxwell with the scoring position. Just a little bit too close to the first baseman there. One away.
Oh, you see the runner in motion there on that pitch. Paw Sox had success last inning with a hit and run. This time Henry Ramos able to put it in play but couldn't get it past the infield. Trying to chip away at this deficit that's now at 4 runs and another man in scoring position.
Well, with Kevin Bowles ejected, Bruce Crabb is not only the third base coach, he's the acting manager for the rest of this one. Breaking ball misses outside to Ryan Court. It's sort of ironic, Josh, that on the 35th anniversary The completion of the longest game, Paw Sox manager gets ejected. Joe Morgan, then the Paw Sox manager, he was ejected early in that game. He was watching from the owner's suite that night. Well, it was a strike, 1-1. We do send our best to Joe's family. He earlier this week lost his wife Dottie, who was beloved in Boston and here in Pawtucket. A wonderful woman, and she will be missed. Ball and a strike to Ryan Cord. Fouls a breaking ball off, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, we're talking about prospects coming up through the Red Sox organization. It's been about a month now, so I guess it's easy to forget that we had a player every day watching Sam Travis earlier this year with Pawtucket. Looked like one of the hot up-and-comers with a bat that could help the big league club at any moment. And I think you and I are in agreement, Will, that he's a guy that may have gotten a look had he continued to play the way he was before he got injured.
No doubt about that. Breaking ball misses to level the count to Court. That kid, Sam Travis, is the complete package. And it's not just that he's a great hitter. It's the competitiveness, the intensity with which he plays the game. Tore his ACL here on a Sunday afternoon. And the good news for Travis and the Red Sox is that surgery was a success, and they expect him to be ready by spring training. But, man, for the better part of 2 months, he was a joy to watch. It's sort of an infectious energy on the foul ball. He hustled every single instant, Josh, and I think he really rubbed off on this club.
He's a throwback. Guy who just kind of would hearken Rich Gedman, his hitting coach, back to the old days when he was coming up. No batting gloves. Running out every ground ball 100%.
You ask him what he liked to do when he's not playing baseball. He'd deadpan you right in the eye and say, sleep. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outside, 3-2.
They do expect that Sam will be back next season, assuming the recovery goes as anticipated. Those ACL tears, sometimes now with modern medicine, the recovery time can get quicker and quicker. You used to see sometimes 13, 14 months.
He's a supreme athlete. 5-1 Cuse as Court chops one foul outside third. And the count will remain full. He was a work in progress over at first base, but only in some ways. On balls in the air in foul territory, he showed off that speed and agility. I'll never forget the day we were in Rochester. Danny Bethea, who at the time was with the Sox in the weight room, had suffered a black eye. I've never seen anyone more envious of a shiner than Travis was. Ground ball to short. Turner has it, and Court is retired. For out number 2, those two were standing around the batting cage in Rochester that April day, and Travis said, man, that thing is awesome. And that's the kind of kid he is.
Envious of a shiner.
He was. He is the real deal. So an inning that started with so much promise now falls to Rusney Castillo. Maxwell at second with 2 outs here in the 4th. Rusney pops one foul. He is never afraid to swing early in counts.
And I think, Will, we've seen it even more pronounced this week. That approach of just going up there hacking since he's been outrighted and returned back to Pawtucket. Unfortunately, just hadn't had any success really to show for that either.
Takes a fastball right there for strike 2.
Now 2 out of 13 since he came back from Boston.
I don't think it's a coincidence that he's batting in this spot in the order. 0-2. Foul back. Pretty good rip at that one. Rusney has all the tools in the outfield. Great range. The arm is well above average. It's this facet that is standing between him and a long, successful big league career. 2-strike pitch. Again fouled off. Gosh, the Paw Sox here in the last couple of innings are getting much better swings and looks against this right-hander Voth.
Well, now the second time through the order, so they've seen the repertoire. Pitch count's getting up there a little bit too. He's now at 70 for the outing.
Spectacular sunset here at McCoy. 2-strike pitch, chopped to short. Turner's slick there, and he puts Castillo away. Inning is over. Maxwell is stranded. We've played 4 at McCoy. Syracuse leads 5-1. Justin Haley's done a nice job settling into this game. Paw Sox trailing 5-1 as we move into the 5th. Once again, here's Josh.
Well, thank you so much, Will. We continue on our NESN and Paw Sox Radio Network simulcast on a Thursday evening at McCoy Stadium. So glad you're with us. Well, tomorrow night, the Paw Sox host Scranton Wilkes-Barre at 7:05. After the game, fans will be treated to a spectacular 1990s themed fireworks show. Spend the night here, see the Paw Sox and the Yankees AAA affiliate, and some 90s music to accompany the fireworks extravaganza. Can't wait. Tony Campana out of the 9th spot in the Syracuse order looks at a strike from Justin Haley. Campana, a suicide squeeze. Got in a run back in a 5-run second inning. And one foul wide of third, and Haley, who has really settled in ever since, is ahead 0-2. Will and I have put in our plugs for the songs we want to hear on the 1990s playlist during the fireworks show.
I just want it to smell like Teen Spirit.
See, you could go so many ways. You could have grunge, early 90s R&B, late 90s boy bands. I know that's your thing. 0-2 is high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Keep that up. I'll say bye, bye, bye.
Well, we saw Donnie Wahlberg up at Fenway today. Maybe he'd have a plug or two that he'd like. He was watching that Red Sox extra innings win. 2-2 now on Campana, former big leaguer. Diminutive guy, first year in the Nationals organization. What a win for Boston earlier today. Xander Bogaerts delivered the walk-off hit in extras. 2-2. Campana fouls it back to stay alive.
Big win, particularly the way that they fell behind, Josh. I thought Junichi Tozawa made a really good pitch, but Jose Abreu just too good. I mean, the way he hooked that ball out of Fenway was just a remarkable swing, but sign of a good team. You can battle back.
2-2 from Haley. That just missed inside, and Campana has come back to work of full counts. The corners have been given some tonight by the plate umpire Ryan Clark. Not that time. And now the payoff pitch. Campana pokes at it and stays alive. A fastball that was at 92 on the stadium radar gun. Haley will sit about 91, 92. His curveball has been effective at times, although the home run that Turner hit in the second inning hung up there. And Trey Turner is on deck. 3-2 again, fouled back by Campana. Turner's home run, if you're just joining us, capped a 5-run rally that put Syracuse well in front in the second inning. Justin Haley has retired the next 7 straight batters ever since. A long battle here to begin the 5th with Campana, and another foul ball hit out of play. This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Haley, as you can see on your screen watching, approaching 100 pitches now. How about 11 in this at-bat alone to Campana? Another foul ball. So you come into the inning, if you're Justin Haley, thinking I'm all right pitch-wise. 11 pitches later without recording an out. He's almost at the century mark. Bullpen is quiet at the moment. Here it is, 3-2, and it's low for ball 4. He tried something off speed, and Campana does not chase. Well, there's a veteran at bat. So the first base runner since what happened in the second inning from this man, Trey Turner.
Yeah, just a pitch that Haley would like to have back. Turner is not going to miss that. That culminated a big inning for the Chiefs. Since then, Haley has been so much better, although that was a frustrating result to begin this 5th inning.
5-1 game. Turner. That's one foul back and out of play. He's 1 for 2. Now hit for the cycle in this series, Trey Turner.
Josh, I'll never forget talking to Roger Clemens. I asked him, who's the most difficult hitter you faced? And the answer he gave me was just shocking. He said David Eckstein. Because I knew that he was going to do exactly what Campana just did, foul off one pitch after another. And in the end, I almost thought to myself, I might as well just hit this guy on the first pitch, put him on, and then induce a double play. He's just a total pest to Clemens and so many others.
0-1 on Turner. Out of the stretch, Haley's fastball is fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, you can see with that pitch count elevating, the Paw Sox had to get somebody up in the bullpen. There's Kyle Martin. Tall right-hander out of Texas A&M, having a fine first season at AAA. He'll be the first man up. Nobody out and 1 on in the 0-2. Turner takes ball 1.
Martin, Josh, is one of the arms in the bullpen that can give you a little bit of length. I mean, he's had several outings this year, 2-3 innings, and undoubtedly that's what Paw Sox will have in mind.
5-1 Syracuse. We're in the 5th with nobody out. Campana runs well as he leads from first. The 1-2 is strike 3 called at the knees. Justin Haley paints and gets another punch out. That's his 6th of the game, and they're coming in bunches here as he gets towards the end of his outing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful pitch at the bottom of the zone, and I guess you'd have to say at least Ryan Clark is being consistent, because he has given that pitch at the bottom or maybe just a touch beneath the strike zone. It's the one that upset Brock Holt.
You can see the accurate pitch totals now as you look on television at the upper left-hand corner of your screen. That was the 92nd, and Lombardozzi takes strike 1.
I don't think when we came to work today, Josh, we thought the home plate umpire would be a headliner tonight.
Well, you would hope that's never the case. If you're just joining us, an ejection of Brock Holt, who was continuing a rehab assignment. Lombardozzi into left center field. That'll play for Justin Maxwell. That hung up for him. 2 out, and back to first goes Campana. This was in the bottom of the 3rd inning. On a pitch, Brock Holt was rung up on here.
Yeah, fastball low, maybe just at the bottom of the strike zone. Holt took some exception to it. At that point, Brock was calm, but clearly sort of continued from the dugout, and he was run from this game. You can see the astonishment on Rich Gedman's face. Kevin Bowles came to Holt's rescue. We just couldn't believe it. Kevin was ejected too.
Brian Goodwin bats, and a good pickoff throw by Haley almost caught Campana. 5-1 Chiefs. You and I have been fortunate enough to see a lot of big league rehabs over the course of our minor league broadcasting careers. I know I can say, and I would assume you'd say the same, that's the first ejection. Goodwin lifts one in back of 3rd. I don't know if the left fielder Maxwell ever saw it. Now he makes a great recovery and a sliding catch. At first lost in the twilight, but the veteran Justin Maxwell recovered. That gets Haley through the 5th. Paw Sox trail 5-1. Well, for our television audience, tune in tonight after our coverage for NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Adam and Nikki recap today's thrilling Red Sox win over Chicago. Plus, you'll hear from Bruins GM Don Sweeney as he prepares for the NHL Draft tomorrow night in Buffalo. That's NESN Sports Today, tonight right after our game here in Pawtucket. Having fun tonight. We hope you're enjoying. This is a first for all of us, a simulcast between the radio, audio, and our NESN audience. Thanks for tuning in. We're the radio voices of the Paw Sox, Josh Mauer and Will Fleming. 5-1 is the lead for Syracuse as Mike Miller leads off in the home half of the 5th. And Austin Voth is ahead 0-1. That strike on the lower edges of the zone given again to a pitcher. 0-2.
But I'm with you. I've not seen a major league rehabber ever run from a game. And look, Josh, we watch this club all the time, and the manager just does not get ejected unless he feels something extreme has occurred.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Miller, who singled and scored back in the 3rd inning. That's the lone run for Pawtucket. There is still one big league rehabber in the game, and that's Ryan Hannigan. He's driven in the Paw Sox run. He had a double. He's due up 4th here in the inning. Both with a 1-2. That's on the ground for the shortstop Trey Turner, who's been busy and flawless at that. Turner takes care of Miller. 1 away here in the 5th.
You get a chance to see some of the smooth moves of Trey Turner. That was the most routine chance he's had, but I think he's shown really good range out there at short, strong arm. He talked to our Ryan Young before the game and said that the Nats have singled out arm strength as a point of emphasis for him. He's got a really good arm, and I think consistency of arm slot, accuracy on those throws is really of paramount importance.
Solis back past the pitcher off of Voth's glove, but quite a recovery there by Austin Voth, sprinting back behind the mound to make the play. 2 down here in the 5th. Ali Solis, smelling infield hit, but the pitcher was able to get back, and he had a long ways to go.
I think almost any other base runner that is a hit, because the second baseman Lombardozzi was way back. That scooted 30 feet away from Voth. He had Solis by 2 steps.
Voth has given up just 4 hits. There comes Jose Vinicio for his first at bat of the night. Well, if you haven't seen Vinicio, this guy is somewhat electric. You can see him waggling the bat. The diminutive left-handed hitter takes the curveball for a strike. He's a speedster. He loves to use the bunt. It's a big part of his game. And he plays this game with a flair that you don't often see. Speaking of the bunt, how do you do? Perfectly rolled up the 3rd baseline, and Jose Vinicio has a base hit. Right on cue.
Good call, and that is such a big part of his game. You could not roll it out there with your hand any better. And to me, Josh, that's a little bit surprising that Martinson is not a little bit further in. Now, he was level with the bag, but I guess even if he is in, maybe Vinicio's safe anyway. But that, you got to know that about this kid, Jose Vinicio. That's the book on him.
And now here's Hannigan. Paw Sox trail 5-1 in the 5th. And Ryan is 1 for 2 with a double. Both catches the plate again around the knees. 0-1.
That's a big play. You're trailing by 4 runs. Just get base runners at the table for the big leaguer.
Was hitting just 186 in the big leagues at the time of the injury in 22 games. Back pick there by the catcher Severino, trying to catch Vinicio, but he's able to dive back in. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ryan Hannigan. It's going to be, Will, interesting when Ryan is deemed healthy enough to be activated. What then becomes of a man who's done such a great job in his stead, Sandy Leon?
I think catching surplus is always a good problem to have. You think about it, the Red Sox hoping to get Blake Swihart back as well.
1-1, and the pitch is called a strike at the letters. Hannigan disagrees.
And it's interesting. I don't know what they'll do. I mean, Leon has been hot. Hannigan has more tenure in the big leagues. But Sandy himself is an accomplished defensive backstop, and he's gotten some big hits.
So you don't expect him to keep batting 500.
You don't.
It's been quite a ride. There goes Vinicio. Ball 2 is high, and Severino's throw is late. Doing it with his legs, Jose Vinicio, a bunt hit and a steal.
You know, he's not a prototypical base stealer. That's only his 2nd with Pawtucket. Fantastic jump there. And I think he picked the perfect pitch to run on.
2-2 on Hannigan. Paw Sox trailing by 4, trying to sneak even further back into this one. That one in the dirt. Terrific job to block the pitch by Pedro Severino. That was not an easy pitch to stop.
Well, now with Vinicio's foot speed,
See Severino, perfect. That is how you teach it. Get the chest in front of it, move the whole body, angled forward, and he knocked it right in front.
That looked like a Molina. 3-2. Benicio takes a big lead in the pitch. Ball forward to Hannigan, up and in. First walk of the outing by Austin Voth. Ryan Hannigan is aboard for the second time, and the Paw Sox have 2 men on base.
Yeah, and we know that Hannigan is a big league guy, a bigger name perhaps, but in this lineup, the one guy with the most home run power is in the batter's box right now. That's a big mistake by Voth. 2 on for Marrero.
The team's biggest power threat. Chris Marrero's 0 for 2 tonight. Voth almost hit him. That fastball came up and in, and I'm not quite sure how Chris was able to duck out of the way. Ball 1, and this was a little scary.
Look out below. And he really didn't do much. It just very fortunately sailed over the top of him. He takes a seat. I don't know how you dig in here.
Two on, 2 out. Voth with a 1-0. And back to a breaking ball that he catches the plate with for strike 1. Snapped that one off following a pitch up at the head. You see the Paw Sox wearing camouflage colored uniforms tonight. That's in honor of Armed Forces Night at McCoy Stadium. Marrero waits a 1-1. That's high in the air in the left. Backing up with a play is Campana right in front of the track. Tony Campana puts it away, and the Paw Sox strand a pair. 6th inning coming up. Paw Sox trail Syracuse 5-1.
Hey, Tom Karen with you here. Xander Bogaerts sent everybody home at Fenway Park with a smile on their faces. A grinded out affair this afternoon that went extra innings, but in the end he delivers his second hit of the day and the second walk-off win of the year for the Red Sox. 8-7 the final. They avoid being swept in a 4-game series by the White Sox. Now they roll into Texas to face the Rangers, the team with the biggest lead of any first-place team in Major League Baseball. Best record in the AL. Our coverage begins Friday night at 7. Guys?
Well, we've got a couple of guys playing on MLB injury rehab for the Paw Sox tonight. There's one who is on the minor league disabled list. Pitcher Joe Kelly working his way back from a groin injury. As we head to the 6th inning, Pawtucket trailing Syracuse 5-1. And our simulcast continues. We hope you're enjoying it. I'm Josh Maurer. We'll turn the play-by-play now back over to Will Fleming.
Thanks, Josh. Joe Kelly's a compelling story right now, as the Red Sox in the most recent homestand had some difficulties in the bullpen. John Farrell's been pretty open about the fact that he's pretty interested in Joe returning in a bullpen role. Sort of surprisingly sent back, optioned after just 3 starts with the Red Sox. Here's Matt Skoll, who takes the ball. Kelly has the kind of stuff that does profile. In a relief role, electric fastball. 1-0 is a little bit outside. A couple different breaking balls, and you can understand that there is some temptation to think about what he might be able to do if he could just let it all hang out. Check swing, called a strike, and it's 2-1.
You look at the way that Kelly ended last season as one of the hottest pitchers in the American League, bouncing back for a fantastic August and September, and a tantalizing taste of what can be for Joe.
Swing and a miss. And of course, that is what makes the decision so difficult for the Red Sox, because there's more value in a starting pitcher, a young electric arm like Joe. But this year right now, a team with the offense that they have, if there's a need in the bullpen, I think Kelly has a chance to fill it. 2-2's in the dirt. And when you ask Joe about that, he's totally open to it. He would not mind a relief role. Working back from a groin injury. And one thing we know, Josh, Joe has really taken to the guys at this level. The appeal, no swing by Skoll, and it's a leadoff walk here in the 6th. You know, sometimes a guy like Joe, who's got some big league time, big contract, come down here and kind of have a hangdog attitude. That is, nothing could be further from the truth for Joe.
Well, you see the smile on his face if you're watching on NESN here. Joe Kelly has, nobody enjoys coming to the minor leagues, but he has made the best of the situation this year, and I think we both really enjoy watching him enjoy it.
Pedro Severino pops a bunt foul out of the reach of Corey. You can always know where Joe is. I mean, he's loud. He's a talker in the clubhouse, and guys really gravitate to him. It doesn't hurt that he can throw 99.
And he will be back in Boston this season, and I think he's going to help the Red Sox when he does go back. First things first, getting healthy.
Justin Haley fires a breaking ball that is ripped into center field, but Castillo slides and makes the play. Really good outfield defense being played behind Haley these last couple of innings. First it was Maxwell, and now Rusney.
Well, you have to get a good jump to be able to catch up to that ball that's slicing away from you, and Rusney did. Read it perfectly off the bat, and that will turn out to be the final pitch of the night for Justin Haley.
Bruce Crabb, the acting manager, is going to come take the baseball from him, and we will get our first look tonight at Kyle Martin. On the TV side, we will step away for a 1-minute break. Introduce you to Kyle Martin right after this short break. Back in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Kyle Martin is going to take the baseball from Justin Haley. Haley lifted after 5 1/3. Only allowed 4 hits. Did walk 3. Charged with 5 earned runs. And Josh, here is Mr. Martin.
Well, this guy is a very interesting bullpen prospect for the Red Sox because of a very good fastball, but an exceptional changeup. You see the numbers if you're watching in 20 appearances, 2 wins, 3 losses. Martin also with 4 saves, a 4.45 earned run average. He has 40 strikeouts in 32 innings. He's only walked 8 batters the whole season.
There was a time when that ratio was 32-3. He really commands the baseball. 1 on, 1 out. Top of the 6th. Matt Den Decker, a left-handed hitter, stands in. Because of that changeup, Kyle is tough on lefties. Den Decker bluffed the bunt, pulled it back, and missed for ball 1. So maybe Joe Kelly can help the Red Sox in the pen. John Farrell was pretty open about the fact that he may have to reassess how he uses Koji Uehara. Gave it up last night. So ever more opportunity. 1-0 to Den Decker. The pitch. Swing and a smash. Foul. Levels the count 1-1. And we saw a guy today, Josh, in Heath Hembry, who started the year, has been back and forth. Pawtucket and Boston. He's solidified himself, and who knows, maybe Heath's a candidate to get a more significant role.
Yeah, there have been times where we've seen Hembry over the last 2 seasons get optioned back to Pawtucket. Have you scratch your head? Well, what more can this guy do? He's pitched very well when he's been in the big leagues. He's gotten more consistent opportunities, and now, as you say, in some really big roles.
Fastball is drilled into left center field, and Castillo cannot get it. That'll one-hop the wall. Rusney plays the carom, slings it back. The relay throw is bobbled from Vinicio, and the run will score. A loud RBI double for Matt Den Decker, and Syracuse tacks on. They lead 6-1.
Well, that's a fastball and a pretty good location from Kyle Martin to the first batter he faces. It was around the knees on the outer half. Just a better piece of hitting by Matt Den Decker. He went and got it with some power to the opposite field. Would have been interesting, Will, had Vinicio been able to hold onto the ball and make a relay throw. I think the Paw Sox had a decent chance of throwing Matt Skoll out at the plate.
Yeah, it could have been a close play. So here's Martinson, who has doubled home a run and struck out. 1 down in the 6th. Fastball that is a strike on the outside corner. You will not see many changeups better than the one Martin will throw. He will go to it in any count. Ahead of Martinson. One strike pitch. Swing and a miss. There it is. Beauty on the changeup and that tailing action. It's just so hard to catch up to it.
Will, that hit that Den Decker just had was not only the first hit since the second inning, it's the only hit that Syracuse has outside of that 5-run inning. But they've hit him and made him count.
Yeah, Haley really did settle down. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouled off. And we will reset. Well, Kyle Martin in his last 4 outings twice has been hit hard. 3 runs on June 15th, 4 on the 4th day of June. And that sort of interrupted a long, outstanding run. He became a real reliable member of this Pawtucket bullpen. He's got a big arm. He'll step off. He and Ali Solis not seeing eye to eye. Oh-2 pitch. Changeup. Swung on and missed. He struck him out as advertised. 2 down.
You won't see much of a better changeup really at any level what Kyle Martin can do there. Look at the arm action. As it leaves his hand, it looks like a fastball, and that's the way the hitter swings. But then does the bottom drop out of it. Jason Martinson left looking silly with the strikeout there from Martin.
So here's the left-handed hitting Caleb Ramsey, 6'1" Syracuse. Pawtucket got a run in the 3rd, had a real chance in the 5th, and now have surrendered another here in the top of the 6th. First pitch to Ramsey, who's 0 for 2, misses outside. They've got a train theme going in Syracuse. In fact, there are train tracks beyond the outfield wall at their ballpark in Western New York, hence the pinstripe conductor-like tops. Another changeup swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Paw Sox go camo tonight.
Armed Services Night. It's an annual event. We hold it right at about the end of June every year. Really, the highlight is the pregame parade. All branches of our United States military incorporated in it. It's quite the spectacle.
Veterans from all the wars. Comebacker. Martin will sling it to first just in time, and that ends the inning. That was a close play and nicely done by Mr. Martin. Chiefs double in a run, heading to the bottom of the 6th. They lead it 6-1. Back in Pawtucket, where the Sox trail Syracuse 6-1 on a spectacular night for a ball game. We thank you for joining us. First time simulcast on the radio side and here on NESN. I'd like to pause on the radio side 10 seconds for station identification on the Pawtucket Red Sox radio network. Along with Josh Maurer, I'm Will Fleming. Welcome back to Pawtucket. Justin Maxwell leading it off in the bottom of the 6th. Breaking ball, hammered into left field. Back on it, Campana. He will square up at the wall and make the play. Maxwell just missed a big fly. And there's one away.
Thought maybe he had it. Maybe just a bit off the end of the bat. Yep. High breaking ball there from Voth. He got away with one. A hanging pitch. But Austin Voth continues to keep the Paw Sox off the base paths. Just 5 hits through 5 innings and the 1 run.
Had some better swings lately. Ramos, that's a better breaking ball. Right in there for a strike. 0-1. Henry called out on strikes in the 2nd. Bounced out to first in the 4th. Ball up the middle. There's Turner again. He's been busy. Sidearm zip to first. 2 away. Darkening skies here at McCoy. as Ryan Court will stand in. Paw Sox haunted by the 5-run second inning tonight. Here's Mr. Court. The breaking ball. You can see that Voth is really leaning on the secondary stuff here the third time through the order. The 0-1. Another breaking ball. This one called a strike. Court can't believe it. That looked like it was off the plate. 0-2.
Well, it's been a pitcher's strike zone tonight. That's one thing that we've seen consistently. That's off the plate away, but given to Mr. Voth, and it changes the at-bat, makes it 0-2.
Ryan Clark has not had the best night. Foul back. Too close to take, and it remains 0-2. You know that the Celtics tonight have made their third pick. Jaylen Brown out of Cal. Red Sox had a first-round pick. They took a high school left-hander they love named Jason Groom with the 12th overall pick. Two-strike pitch, bounces in. The only question with Groom, signability. He's projected in the top 5 picks. He fell to Boston. Talking to folks in the organization, they think that all signs point to Groom signing. Committed to a junior college, but they think they're going to get him in the fold. The deadline for that, July 15th. 2 fouled off.
So much of the key to signing a first-round high school pick is having enough money from signing guys later in the draft under slots. The current draft system gives you a slot amount for each pick. So you have a total amount that you can use. Paw Sox want to go under on the next picks and then have more to spend on the first.
It's one of the unintended consequences of the new CBA is the 1-2 misses low. They have almost encouraged and incentivized teams to save in the top rounds where you've got more allotted to your pool and then spend it later. But the other option, as you say, is to save on the later second, third, fourth picks and spend more in the first. Another ground ball to turn. There's a strong throw to first. The Paw Sox are down in order through 6 at McCoy. 6-1 Syracuse. If you've never been to McCoy Stadium for a fireworks spectacular, you will have your pick of the litter this summer. The Paw Sox, who always put on a great show, have even added 3 additional shows this summer. So the dates, and Josh, when you come to see pyrotechnics at McCoy, you do not get cheated.
Now they're the best in minor league baseball. I'm going to say that confidently and with authority.
Well, you've got a book on a lot of these ballparks.
I've seen a lot in a lot of levels, and they don't do them better anywhere else than at McCoy. So make sure, if you're thinking about what to do on a Friday night upcoming, we've got so many of these fireworks shows. With the great weather, these are the times to be at McCoy Stadium.
There's Tony Campana, who has been a pest, a thorn in the Paw Sox side tonight. He checks his swing. A Kyle Martin fastball, ball 1.
I don't know if people realize, Will, how often fireworks are done throughout minor league baseball at so many levels. When we travel around, pretty much every Thursday or Friday or Saturday night, we're seeing some sort of pyrotechnics.
It's a race to get the windows closed and the crowd mic turned down. Well, that was a strike.
But my point being, very often we'll just see 5 minutes.
Yep.
It's like the quick burst. There they all go. Beginning and finale. Not so here. These will last for a good half hour.
1-1 to Campana, and again he shows bunt. Pulls it back, but that was a called strike. 1-2. This guy has put down that beautiful safety squeeze. Drove in Martinson, and he drew that 11-pitch walk. See that wide stance. Choked up on the bat. Trying to slap at one. 1-2. Pulled on the ground to Miller. Fires to first. 1 away. So Kyle Martin solves the riddle that is Tony Campana. He's retired. And here once again, Trey Turner. Turner has had himself a night, launched that 2-run home run in the second. He has also been extraordinarily busy in the field. 5 assists out there at short. Martin's first pitch to him is popped up. Third base side, Court comes in and in foul ground puts Turner away. Out number 2.
Next week, as we approach July 4th, the Paw Sox come back home. This is following a fireworks show tomorrow night as Coda Glover, an impressive young right-hander, begins to loosen for Syracuse. We're going to have 3 fireworks shows in a row leading us into the July 4th holiday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next week. The patriotic themed fireworks, so we're going to have all the John Philip Sousa music playing.
First pitch to Lombardozzi. That's a pop-up. Shallow left field. Vinicio makes a tumbling grab. And with a little adventure, it's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 6th. Syracuse leads it 6-1 in McCoy. Austin Vogt's night is done here in Pawtucket as we go into the bottom of the 7th. He is certainly aligned for a win. Syracuse ahead 6-1. We get our second look at this talented young right-hander pitching for just the second time in AAA, a guy the Nationals absolutely love. It's Coda Glover.
Glover, who has been shooting up through the Washington farm system, made his debut just a couple of nights ago and pitched a scoreless inning. That was in a doubleheader game on Tuesday. But you look at what he's done in both high A and double A this year. He's been lights out. 17 appearances in Harrisburg. That's double A. Had 29 strikeouts in 22 innings. And he began the year in high A. Didn't give up a run in 10 innings. Big arm, and they think he might be big league bullpen depth pretty soon.
Big arm. He misses with a first pitch fastball to Castillo. And it's 1-0.
And when I say shooting up through the system, this guy was drafted last year. 8th round pick.
He misses for a second straight time to Castillo. 2-0. They rave about his competitiveness, composure on the mound. And he is rocketing through the system. Castillo's 0 for 2. Fouls that one back. See if Rusney can spark a little rally. By the way, the 5 runs that Syracuse scored in the second inning. Really a total anomaly for this Pawtucket pitching staff. Castillo fouls one off. It's the largest inning Pawtucket has allowed in June. You don't need just that stat to prove it, but the numbers overall just been spectacular, both the starters and the bullpen. In fact, one time earlier this month, the Paw Sox won 5 games in a 7-game homestand as Castillo swings through a fastball. He is punched out. That is overpowering stuff from Coda Glover.
97 miles an hour. Just reached back and played some country hardball with Rusney. Nothing fancy there. I'm going to throw it as hard as I can and see if you can catch up to it.
Come and get it. Did not. So Castillo's 0 for 3, and here's Mike Miller. But over that 5-2 homestand, Pawtucket scored only 15 runs and yielded only 10. I've not seen anything like that before. They have pitched great in the month of June. 1 down, bottom 7. Miller stands in. He's 1 for 2. Glover pumps another fastball. 98 miles an hour, strike 1. This kid looks the part. The 1-strike pitch, bounced foul outside of third.
We may very well later tonight see a Paw Sox pitcher who has a similar big arm and has been in quite a groove. Pat Light made his big league debut in Boston earlier this season, but I think most Red Sox fans probably have yet to see the fun arsenal on display that Pat has had, especially since he's been optioned back. He's been one of the most electrifying relievers to watch in this league.
He can hit triple digits. 0-2 upstairs to Miller. Pat's got that fastball splitter combo, and many times along the way he's anchored the back end of the Paw Sox bullpen, and we'll see tonight. Maybe a night for him to get some work in. The 1-2. Smashed into right center field. Ramsey on the run. He'll get there to make a knee-high grab. Excellent range by Caleb Ramsey. Took one away from Miller there.
That's another good swing by Mike Miller. Glover speeding up his bat a little bit, throwing with that breaking ball, and Caleb Ramsey on the run in the gap.
So 2 down for Ali Solis. It's one of the vagaries of AAA. You might say, if you're watching at home, well, if you're trailing 6-1, why on earth would you throw a closer type as Solis takes a ball to begin his 3rd time at bat? The answer is that so often decisions at this level just are not dictated necessarily by the game situation. It's about preparing for the next level. That's a base hit into right field. Ali Solis was looking for a fastball. He got one and he roped it the other way.
Second hit for Ali tonight. Catcher known for his glove and his arm. This time tonight, good work at the bottom of the order with the bat. Inside outs it with a little bit of thump into right field.
Here now Jose Benicio, who bunted for a hit his last time. That's not to say that we wouldn't see light in a save situation, but if it's his day to pitch, he's going to get in there. We shall see. 2 down in the 7th. Paw Sox looking to rally. Benicio, too short. Turner goes the short way to second, and that is that. Pawtucket gets a hit, but strands Solis. We played 7 at McCoy, Syracuse 6, and the Paw Sox won. Fans, this Sunday at McCoy Stadium, enjoy some of the best baseball in the country while celebrating all things Irish. Join the Pawtucket Red Sox and Tenon Tours for Irish Day Sunday at McCoy Stadium, giving away a 5-night signature tour for 2 to Ireland, a $2,000 value. For more information, visit pawsox.com. 6-1 Syracuse as we make our way into the 8th. Once again, for the play-by-play, here's Josh.
Well, thank you so much, Will Fleming. This is our first NESN and Paw Sox Radio Network simulcast, and we thank you for sticking with us. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We'll do this again next Thursday nights. Kyle Martin back out there. He's already recorded 5 outs. Brian Goodwin takes a strike. That's a pretty good deal. $2,000 value trip to Ireland.
The Emerald Isle.
That's right. Irish Day on Sunday. I think we're going to have some green-colored beverages being sold, I'm told. Nothing in 1, and fooled by a changeup. Goodwin waves through the pitch. Nothing in 2. Will and I, on a nightly basis, going to be heard on the radio airwaves, broadcasting the Paw Sox games. Goodwin is 0 for 3. Martin's 0-2. He bounced in the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a big weekend coming up at McCoy with Scranton, the Yankees AAA affiliate, in town for 3. We've talked about 90s night and the mini bat giveaway tomorrow. Wade Boggs bobblehead Saturday, and Irish Day is Sunday at 1 o'clock. And one of the things that we've been so happy to see over these past few homestands is the amount of youngsters who have come out to enjoy our national pastime here. I think we have seen, Will, time and again, the amount of families with young children come out, and that's been growing and growing by the homestand.
It has, and it's a point of emphasis here as the Paw Sox look to re-engage with this community here in Rhode Island and throughout New England. And they've done a lot to that exact end. And Josh, you and I both know we love this game, and that's the key to its growth is welcoming in the next generation. We got to get them in the ballpark, and once we do, entertain them. And I can promise you the Paw Sox do a great job of that. So check it out for yourself. Give it a try. Come on out.
Half the season still to go. 2-2 on Goodwin. Left-handed hitter. He's had a rough series. 2 out of 17. Martin's 2-2. Change up. Did he swing? No. Joe Bourne is the crew chief at third base. And the pitch was low. It's a full count. Tonight we're deciding this very lengthy 5-game series. Paw Sox won the first 2. Syracuse has taken the latter 2. So a rubber match here. 3-2. And Goodwin spoils a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Won't play too many 5-game series at this or any level. There's a doubleheader in the middle of it from an early season rainout. Kyle Martin, who pitched his college ball at Texas A&M, makes his home in the beautiful city of Austin. Misses up and away. It's a full count walk to Brian Goodwin. The first base on ball's a very rare one, allowed by the big man. Martin listed at 6 feet 7 inches tall.
And he does get on top of that fastball. Big live arm, trying to continue to acclimate himself, pitching in the backhands of these bullpen situations. And I think he did a really nice job calming himself down, settling in after the double to Den Decker. He then sent down 5 in a row.
1 on, none out. A 6-1 game in the 8th, and Matt Skoll fouls the fastball back. 94 on the gun, and it's 0-1. And another big crowd here tonight. We've been blessed with beautiful weather for this entire series and expecting more of it as Scranton comes to town over the weekend. Meanwhile, as the Boston Red Sox head on the road, give you a chance to watch some more baseball here in New England if you come out to McCoy. 1 on, none out. And an 0-1 pitch coming. Skoll looks at strike 2, right at the knees. Good fastball.
In the offseason, Kyle works for his father-in-law, who runs and raises livestock. And he says he just loves the separation from everything. Nothing could be further from the day-to-day of a baseball season. He just gets away from it all, and he just soaks it all in.
Skoll late on the fastball, and he struck him out. That's the second punch out for Mr. Martin, and he had a great location to get it.
He absolutely did. I mean, you see this pitch right out over the outside corner. That is painting the corners, and really no chance for Skoll.
So now Pedro Severino, the catcher, who's 0 for 3, comes to the plate.
I also think, Josh, that's another opportunity where the changeup is such a weapon for him. In a way, Skoll is sort of protecting against that. The fastball plays that much more effectively because of it.
0-1 the count on Severino. Pawtucket, we've talked about, has played some very good winning baseball this month. They could somehow come from behind in this 5-run deficit. They'd have won 5 of their last 6 series. Have some work to do. We're in the 8th. Time called before the 0-1 pitch. Big day in Boston sports. Red Sox win in extra innings, avoid the sweep against Chicago at Fenway. Here's a swing and a miss on a pitch that bounces away from Solis. That's one of the risks with the changeup. A lot of wild pitches come off of it, and there's the case as Goodwin advances into scoring position.
And just caromed off the right shoulder, it looked like, of Ali Solis, who looked to be in a pretty good position, but that one took a wicked bounce up off of his body. Easily scampering to second was Goodwin.
As much as that pitch bounced in front of the plate, the batter Severino still chased after it, so it's 0-2. 6-1 is the lead for the Chiefs in the 8th. 1 out in the 0-2. He chased again, and he struck him out. Back to the changeup in the dirt. Back-to-back punch outs for Kyle Martin. 2 away. We've talked about it a lot since he entered this game. Well, the arm action is really incredible.
Yeah, and so is the late diving action of that changeup. One of the things that's a little bit unique is that at times Martin's changeup can have a little bit like a cutting action, almost like a slider going away from a right-handed hitter, and that way it makes it a little bit unique. He holds it a little bit like a two-seam fastball. It's just that rather than the index finger and middle finger, he does it with his middle and ring fingers.
And now Matt Den Decker, who's had a big game. He doubled in a run against this pitcher back in the 6th. 2 out of 3 total.
I also think that's why that two-seam pitch can be so effective for him. It goes that opposite direction, sort of away from a left-hander into a right-handed hitter.
1 ball and no strikes, so the Red Sox win to finish their 10-game homestand. Boarded a flight after that game. Then Decker swings through the changeup. 1-1. Celtics' 3rd pick in the NBA draft tonight. Boston selected University of Cal Berkeley freshman Jaylen Brown.
Also just taken somebody else with their 16th pick, a forward from France whose name I will not try to pronounce.
So we give it the old college try. 1-1. That's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It just flashed on the screen to our right. I'll give it a go.
We'll recap the whole day. New England sports after the game. NESN Sports Today follows us if you're watching on the television side. Six to 1 Chiefs. We're in the 8th. Brian Goodwin leads from 2nd with 2 out. The 1-2. Change up. Swung on and missed. Den Decker is gone. And Kyle Martin impressively strikes out the side here in the 8th. Paw Sox with some work to do. They trail by 5, 6-1. Fans of the Paw Sox pleased to present Wade Boggs bobblehead doll night this Saturday here at McCoy as Scranton Wilkes-Barre's in town at 6:05. The first 3,000 fans get this popular collector's edition of a bobblehead of Boggsy, the winner of the first ever Paw Sox fan vote bobblehead this offseason. Get all your tickets and all the information on Saturday's game, the rest of the homestand, by visiting pawsox.com. 6-1 Syracuse here in the bottom of the 8th. Coda Glover out for a 2nd inning. The young flamethrower gets in front of Ryan Hannigan, 0-1.
I'm ready to try to embarrass myself here.
We're going to hear the latest Celtics draft choice. Hannigan takes, and that's strike 2.
So French power forward named Gershon Yabusele, I think.
Magnifique. Here comes the 0-2. Hannigan blown away by 96 mile-an-hour heats. Coda Glover comes on. He is retired very quickly, the Paw Sox, here in his 1st inning and a 3rd, and that's his 2nd punch-out.
Again, you can just see why they think so highly of this kid. He attacks hitters, and why not with that stuff?
That should be it for the night for Hannigan, who was supposed to play enough to get 4 plate appearances. That was number 4. Chris Marrero looks at a strike. Ryan had a good night. That punch out notwithstanding has driven in the only Paw Sox run. It came back in the 3rd with a double. He's also walked. So Hannigan beginning a rehab assignment tonight. And I think a very positive first step back towards the big leagues for Mr. Hannigan. If you joined us late, the other big leaguer, Brock Holt, had his night shortened due to an ejection. It was a 1-1 pitch. Marrero shoots it foul on the right side. 1-2. Brock called out on a strike that he did not agree with. Moments later, tossed from the game. He went 0 for 2. Here's Pat Light. Talked about the big-armed part-time closer for the Pawtucket. He is getting loose in the bullpen. 1-2, and Glover misses high.
The drafting of a Frenchman by the Boston Celtics does bring to mind something that gave me a chuckle earlier today, because I was kind of reading back through the archives about the longest game, this being the 35th anniversary of the conclusion of that. As you said, it was not only national news, sort of international too.
newspapers from all over the place, and in some of our yearbooks downstairs there's a headline from a newspaper in Quebec that said "Les matchs plus longs," the longest game.
3-2 on Chris Marrero. Glover's pitch smashed into center, but that's hanging up for Brian Goodwin. Over towards left a few steps. Goodwin makes the grab, and that allowed second out of the inning. We talked about it a lot tonight on this 35th anniversary of that 33-inning game ending. I don't think that will ever be duplicated, at least at the professional ranks.
No, there's just too much risk, too much money involved in the arms of pitchers, and the more we learn about science and injury, that they're just not going to let guys go that long. And I think almost undoubtedly position players would have started pitching. It really can't happen.
We've seen games where position players come in the 8th. Justin Maxwell takes ball 1.
Yeah, you just can't risk it with these guys. And if they've thrown a couple days in a row, they're unavailable. That's just the bottom line.
Maxwell 1 for 3. Hits that one sharply at the shortstop, Trey Turner. He's been a vacuum tonight. Turner takes care of another. And Glover with a 1-2-3 8th. Ninth inning time at McCoy. Syracuse 6. Pawtucket 1. Ninth inning here at McCoy Stadium. We continue our coverage of Red Sox minor league baseball. Tonight on NESN, proud to present Paw Sox and the Syracuse Chiefs. It's been all Cuse. 6-1 through 8. And after 2 2/3 scoreless innings from Kyle Martin, here comes the electrifying Pat Light into the game.
Fastball splitter combo, Josh. And he really is fun to watch. When he is on, virtually unhittable. Red Sox fans got a brief glimpse at him, made his major league debut in Atlanta earlier this summer, but the fastball can get up into triple digits. That split finger pitch is such a wonderful complement to it. 18 appearances, 27 strikeouts in 23 1/3 innings.
It's now been over a month since this 6'5" right-hander has allowed a run. 10 straight scoreless innings. Here's Jason Martinson. Fastball is popped straight up, and it's playable. The catcher is Solis. After discarding the mask, puts away a 1-pitch out for Pat Light. Radar gun read that at 94 miles an hour. The thing for Light, he can throw the splitter upwards of 90. The eye-popping moment of the season after he got optioned back from his first big league action came in Buffalo a few weekends ago. Pat Light threw strike 3 to end a game on which the radar gun read 101 miles per hour. And we all collectively turned and said, whoa.
He'll make you do that. And if he can throw strikes, Josh, this guy is a weapon in the bullpen. That is the issue for him, the bugaboo. At times, his command will leave him, but that has not been an issue of late.
Caleb Ramsey takes a strike, then a ball. 1-1 with 1 out. Ramsey given credit for an infield hit. Ball that Brock Holt threw low. And was scored a hit and an error back in the 5-run second inning. And so Ramsey's 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. There's a splitter.
And they can see how nasty that is. It just has such biting action. And you're sitting geared up for a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and that thing just dives out of the zone.
1-2. Fastball to the backstop. Yep. That'll make Ramsey feel a little uneasy up there in the box. When Pat was drafted in the first round by the Red Sox in 2012, he'd been a starting pitcher his whole life. Pitched his college ball in his home state, the Garden State. Monmouth University. He's from Colts Neck, New Jersey. 1 out in the 9th. And Solis holds on to the foul tip for strike 3. Ramsey retired on a split-fingered fastball. 2 down for Pat Light.
And you said it. I mean, I think Solis gets a lot of credit here. We see the late action on that split, a foul tip, and Solis strong wrists. Great reception there. And Light, like he has for the last month plus, just outstanding.
Pawtucket trails 6-1, but the Paw Sox pitchers have combined for 11 punch-outs in this game. Here's Tony Campana. There's a swing and a miss at the splitter. And that's a relatively new pitch to the light arsenal since he's become a reliever the last 2 seasons. He's really worked to perfect it, but it's not the pitch that made him a first-round pick. But it is a beauty tonight. 0-2. Campana 0 for 1. He's also had a sacrifice bunt and a walk. Josh Maurer and Will Fleming, radio broadcast team for the Paw Sox. Glad you're with us tonight. 0-2. Campana spoils it on the ground foul.
And this is the Pat Light that has Boston dreaming big. Power arm, can mix and match right around the strike zone. There just is not a comfortable at bat against him.
Major League debut on the 26th of April. That came in Atlanta. He actually recorded the final out of that win. 0-2 again. Swing and a miss. A splitter to strike out Campana. Light keeps it going. He has had an impressive streak. Last licks for Pawtucket. They trail 6-1. Final cuts here for the Pawtucket Red Sox, trailing Syracuse 6-1 as we hit the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Chiefs bring in their 3rd pitcher of the evening. It's the veteran right-hander Nick Massett. Massett making his 26th appearance, no wins, 3 losses. But you can see a very impressive 2.35 earned run average. Not a lot of strikeouts for Massett, just 14 of them in 23 innings. He's 3 out of 4 in save opportunities. This is not one of them. Henry Ramos, Ryan Court, and Rusney Castillo, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the Paw Sox order. They're due up, try to get a rally going. Massett has pitched in parts of 8 major league seasons, much of it with the Cincinnati Reds. Go to Glover, 2 innings of scoreless relief. The starter, Austin Voth, he went the first 6 and is in line for the win. Ramos takes the hard fastball inside. Ball 1 from Nick Massett.
Yeah, you said it. 387 big league games. Long in the tooth. He's got a fastball, curveball, occasional cutter, slider, and a changeup. He's got the full arsenal.
2-0. Ramos looks at 1 low. Henry is 0 for 3. Paw Sox scored their run in the 3rd inning right after Brock Holt and manager Kevin Bowles got ejected. The very next pitch, Ryan Hannigan lined an RBI double. Now it's 2-0. Ramos on the ground through the right side and a base hit. Good way to start things in the home half of the 9th. Henry Ramos has himself a single.
Very balanced from Henry, as he so often is from this left side. Just pulled one through the hole on the right side of the infield. Now Josh Billy Gardner Jr., the manager for Syracuse, he will work that bullpen, figuring with a 5-run lead he can bring Massett in. We've seen the closer the last 2 nights, Rafael Martin. Wonder if he'd be available. The Paw Sox hope to find that question out.
Ryan Court will bat and take ball 1 outside. Court has grounded out all 3 times he's batted. This is a guy who is playing in his 5th ever AAA game and 5th straight, and has been super impressive since being promoted from Portland. They're not going to hold Ramos on at first base. The 1-0 on the ground to second. That should be 2. Lombardozzi to Turner and back to first. He beat it. A little bit slow on the exchange there, it looked like, between Lombardozzi and Trey Turner, and good hustle by Ryan Court.
And I think a pretty good slide there by Ramos, because he forced Lombardozzi to have to dive up, and that maybe split second prevented the double play.
Fielder's choice leaves 1 on with 1 out for Rusney Castillo. 0 for 3, including a strikeout in his 4th game back from the big leagues. Massett pumps in a first pitch fastball right at the knees, 0-1. The big story out of Boston today was the injury to Chris Young. And the big story here was a man trying to help out in Young's stead, Brock Holt, getting ejected following a called third strike in the third inning. He had just 2 at-bats. They were hoping that Brock would have played 7 innings today.
Just a totally wild scenario here. Guy making a rehab who gets tossed for barking from the third base dugout. And coming to his defense, the manager, Kevin Bowles. And just a wild one.
0-2. Massett's pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. The breaking ball buried in the dirt. Well, Rusney could not lay off, and there are 2 gone here in the 9th inning.
And I think it's sort of fitting, I guess, that Rusney is up at the plate as we discuss the injury to Chris Young, because in a week when he's taken off the roster, you would have ordinarily said, well, Rusney will go right back up and see if he can solidify himself, but that is no longer the option.
So with Pawtucket trailing 6-1 and down to a final out, Mike Miller hopes to extend things. Taking off for second is Court. Miller takes a strike, and Syracuse will let Ryan have it. Indifference there to put a runner in scoring position. Mike Miller has scored Pawtucket's run tonight. It came after a 3rd inning single. He's 1 for 3. 0-1. Beauty. Snapped that one off, and it dips in at the knees, 0-2. We hope you'll join us next Thursday, by the way. That's the 30th of June. Another Red Sox minor league baseball production on NESN. We're back here at McCoy Stadium for Pawtucket and Columbus. 0-2. Miller hits it right back on a hop to Massett, who lobs one over to first to end the ball game. And Syracuse striking early for a big inning. The Chiefs never look back, and they win this series. Tonight, an emphatic 6-1 final score. So the Paw Sox win the first 2 of the 5-game set, and Syracuse takes the final 3. Stay with us. Coming up next, for our television audience on NESN, it'll be NESN Sports Today with Adam and Nikki. We thank you so much for watching.